Hello, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining a New Life series, an educational series with Rav Dr. Michael Laitman. Hello, Dr. Laitman. Hello, everyone. Hello, Nitzam Azuz. Hello, we're talking about communications, and today we reached the heart of the matter, advertising. Advertising is actually something that we see everywhere we go. It's really part of our lives. With the help of advertising, we make decisions, we get information, we decide to do this or that. It's a big part of our life, a big part of our family life, our children's lives. And today it's impossible to imagine a world that would be managed without all this information and advertising, without the ability to consume what we want, when we want, the color that we want, at the price that we want, and not to come out losing. And advertising has a significant part in our lives, and we're starting our discussion about this very significant subject, advertising. Nitzam Azuz, advertising, opening remarks. So first of all, as preparation for the show, I went to buy something. I decided to be more aware of what's happening around me. To look around and see if advertising influences me at all. And everywhere I go, I'm completely surrounded, non-stop, with advertisements. Billboards in the mail, computer, internet, TV, radio. Even there's ads jumping up on my iPhone. Suddenly I notice that whether I like it or not, I'm always under the influence of something. And until I looked at it and until we were going to talk about it, I didn't even pay attention. I thought I wasn't even influenced by it. Another thing I noticed is the difference between commercials. I looked at commercials from before 20, 25 years ago, and I saw this naivety. The focus was more to inform me as a consumer that there's something new, a new product, new service that I need, and it's good for me to know about it. It was to inform me. Today, advertising is truly telling me what I need. Many times I don't even know that I want something until I see the ad. The ad actually does two things. It works over me twice. It creates a need or desire for something that I didn't even know that I need or desire. And on the other side, it is providing it to me, giving me a feeling, a very good feeling about it. Of course, the images in the adverts, they always look beautiful. They always convey aesthetics, health, happiness, security, all the things that work very well on us. And I have to say that I also enjoy them. From my side, it doesn't upset you? Sometimes, yes. Especially when it's like exaggerated consumption, and like in the case of my children. But when it comes to me, it doesn't upset me. Okay. So the first question is truly, we want to understand how this world that is influencing us all the time, this world of advertising, whether we're aware or not aware, there's so many details around us. How does it influence us? It influences us in a direct manner and in an opposite manner, from all sides. In the direct manner that I see an advertisement, in a roundabout manner that I hear about it from all kinds of places, through all kinds of people, people that aren't even aware of it. They're wearing signs of advertising on them or something in their behavior. And it's also in the atmosphere. The fact that each time it plays on jealousy, honor, mind, that I look at other people and I learn from them how I won't look ridiculous next to them as a loser. Advertising, like you said, it comes through the kids. that they're apparently advertising things that are important. They're important because they're important to the people who love them. That's how I become impressed. And it also becomes important to me. Advertising is actually not just advertising. It becomes that environment that I live in, where actually my entire life is living in values. Everything has value. For water, bread, all those natural things, they have value from my body, natural value, to the extent that I really need them. But beyond necessity, all the things that don't come naturally, the products that I really consume, their value is dependent on advertising alone. They have no value on their own, like Coca-Cola. It doesn't cost anything. The bottle costs nothing. What's inside it costs practically nothing. But the advertising raises it up to a level, and that's why we pay for it. And that's how I relate to it, etc. My car, I can go in a tiny little car, like in the old days. But advertising raises gives me a different picture. And that's why I invest so much. Advertising has to escort us only if we have nothing naturally from inside us, an attraction to these things, a special attraction, that we need to be explained, apparently, that it's important, that you must have it, that without that you're not important, without that you're not respected, without that you're not like everyone, etc. Someone who it's worth it for him advertises these things to me, promotes these things, and in this way he gets rich. And this is how the world goes around. We think that without advertising we can't live today, that our society can advance forward. Because advancement in society, we measure it by the increase of the industry, etc. So if until now we supplied ourselves with, if we supplied ourselves only with basic necessities and the rest we have to go upward and upward, that's how we're built today in the meantime in our society, which is completely sick and incorrect, but it all depends on advertising. So therefore the investment in advertising is so huge. Even over 50% of the product itself, it goes into advertising. Once upon a time, there used to be a sign or something where the person worked, and a doctor and a carpenter, and that was enough. For basic things, people knew where it was, or worst comes to worst, they'd look at the signs. Or there was a little booklet in town where there was a list of addresses of those places that are necessary to us today, because we don't need them. It has to be forced into us to raise their value from zero to the level where you must buy them. So that's why advertising is so aggressive. Every ad that is actually talking about a product that has no natural value, but rather its value is only dependent on the fact that they're putting one over on me, that they're, in a fake way, they're raising its value to me. So all kinds of forms and pictures, images, how people are enjoying it, and without it, you can't live without it. And he looks really happy and everything. Of course, they're doing it through the elderly, through kids. At the end of the day, all this attracts, takes an entire industry after it, research, R&D, psychologists, researching how to approach children, women, men, the elderly, etc. Advertising for pets, what's good for them. I just saw not long ago a channel for dogs on TV where they have a channel and there's dogs. So the dog at home won't be bored. He watches those dogs. And apparently he has fun. And soon they're going to be bringing them advertising for all the things he needs. And then he'll demand it from his owner. Just like kids.
באמת, אנחנו נמצאים עכשיו בדיפרסיה כללית.
We're in general depression at the moment, a general crisis. So advertising is having a difficult time. Because if a person, at the end of the day, has no desire to enjoy some kind of filling, so how can you penetrate him? People are desperate. They don't want anything. Just like a person who has no appetite, you give him this or that. I have no taste, I don't want anything. They're in despair, they have a lack of appetite for all kinds of fillings, games, toys that we used to be attracted to. And we used to think that this advancement could be endless. The more we turn things over and stores with presents and all this is decreasing and disappearing. And this is where the problem comes from, for those dealing with advertising. The more aggressive they get, the more professional they are, or sneaky, it still doesn't work. It's working less and less. And we see stores are emptying out.
יש עדיין בזה המשך אינרציה כזאת, אבל באמת זה הכל...
There is still a bit of energy there, inertia. But because our desire inside is changing, people are starting to be indifferent to things outside them. That's because the desire in us is going through an upgrade at the moment. It's reaching a new level of quality. And in this new quality, we can't yet identify what it is, what a person will want, what we can sell to him. How can we motivate him, to operate him, to turn him on? And all this is operating very significantly on the financial crisis, and we see that apparently the world is in a decline. Of course, it's in all different levels in different countries. In the developing countries, they're missing basic necessities, so it's different there. But it's also causing people from commerce and industry to turn to undeveloped countries to start to find advertising and markets there, to find the new consumers. And it's just a matter of a few years. And at the end of the day, we'll see the whole world that they've had enough of all this surplus above the basic necessities. And this is what we're heading toward. We're losing the value of everything beyond what we need. Just like a person that's in general despair that he's missing, doesn't know what, then he makes do with what he needs to live. But the rest, he can move himself. That's actually the issue. So advertising has a problem, but we need to understand that advertising is actually a tool of the media. It's the ammunition of the media. So we need to understand that the media, like we spoke of it once, these are tools for connecting between people. If they will pay attention to their destiny, to their purpose and their work that they're meant to be doing, to be communicating between people, connecting between people. If they understand that this is what people need today more than anything else, because our world is becoming more connected, and the media is still working in a personal, individualistic way, each one to a personal person. They haven't yet reached the media to the understanding what their real significance is. If they discover it, then their advertising will also become educational advertising to promote the correct values. And then we'll see them, the media and advertising, that they will promote those images, those values, opinions, what a person needs to be happy. Because apart from basic necessities in life, beyond that, we are looking for joy. So this whole descent into despair, to emptiness, is coming now to reveal to us the need for filling our moods where there's no limit there. We can always look after everyone's good mood and sell the good mood. A quality experience from our development, it won't happen. And in that, I see the future of the media as an organization, a great educational organization that is raising men each time to new levels of filling, high levels where a person will enjoy himself. And all the advertising will be at completely new stages of joy. Having fun, what a person enjoys. It won't be by buying a certain toy, clothes or car, all kinds of material things, but rather in the types of connections between us. Connection, yes. In what ways we can connect more and enjoy more. Because what we really need apart from basic things is how to feel that we are living well. I'm talking about people, I'm talking about the masses. And that's what the media need to do. And within that, they need to direct their advertising. Then they won't miss the correct direction. I want to raise a subject here. You spoke about general depression, etc. And when I try to look at my family and my friends, I'm asking myself, is depression because they don't want to buy? Or maybe they'd want to have more money to buy. If they had more money, they could buy more and they could go back to the whole fun of buying lots of stuff and everything would be fine. I see boredom, the desire for renewal, to take interest, to get excited about something new. That I identify very easily in myself and in my close environment. The world is becoming empty of content that people are looking for. At one time, it was enough for us to see a movie, to go to some fun event once in a while, to watch some program on TV, to have guests over. We used to live in a more natural manner. And we thought it would go on. To buy something, to go out, show off your new clothes. The industrial people and advertising people aren't taking into account that man is changing. They think that the way we lived up till now, that's how we'll continue living. So they don't want clothes like that, then we'll make him something else. Look at fashion shows. Look what things they're doing. You can't go out to the street with those things, but they have some type of special artistry. And in that, they want to show to what extent they see a person in his special way, because they dress these kind of hats and clothes and shoes that you can't even walk with them. And it only suits people that weigh 40 kilos and are 2 meters high. These are unnatural things. It's an artistry in itself, like drawing a picture. It's not for the regular audiences, that's for sure. That's on the one hand. And on the other hand, I think that this knowledge that a person's desire is really changing and is now going through an upgrade and becoming different at its foundation, that instead of money, respect, control, and even intelligence, even data, he wants to know where I am living. It's like he's stopping himself in life and starts to think. This desire comes from inside. It's not that we got smart. It's not that we truly all became philosophers, but rather nature from the inside is changing us. And the fact that it's changing us means that we're not the owners. We need to identify this trend, and we have no way to stop it or change it. And we only need to agree to the fact that these things, we can only hope that they go forward, accelerate, and we will feel them more and more in the world. And we have a problem dealing with it. Either we get it from the beginning and approach it in a normal fashion, with agreeing and understanding, and then we gradually change the media and we will go along with nature, we'll be flexible, then we'll have options to exist as media, and otherwise we're going like two separate railroad tracks. One filled with humans is going in one direction, and we're going in our direction. And at the end of the day, we won't find one another. Today, we already see that to the extent that we continue advertising, no matter how aggressive it is, it's no longer working. And then it depends on how much they understand it. We see this in all cases. The world is going back to its natural state and is shrinking toward natural consumption. You can especially see this in money, that the value of the bills themselves, the green bills, there's already an inclination and it's known and we see it well, that sooner or later we're going back to gold. The problem is that we disconnected from gold, and it wasn't a long time ago, it was only 40 or 50 years ago. We disconnected from gold because we can't get gold out of the earth at the rate that we at the rate that we build and create things. We have no and with the help of technology and everything, gold isn't as valuable as it used to be. It doesn't need to be on the same scale as gold and silver chains. Along with gold, we put lots and lots of golds. And then we decided to build here to create as much as possible. And now we know that still this entire bubble is going down in such a manner that
שיש לנו, או שאנחנו יכולים להוציא מהאדמה עדיין. זאת אומרת,
if it's something that belongs to us, or if we can take it out of the ground, it's all going back to its natural value and nothing else. Therefore, we need to understand that what will happen, what kind of new industry will there be, the new kind of buying, which would actually, we're not talking about basic things, plus or minus, maybe. We're not going to wear pajamas or a big sack on me. It might be convenient to come to the morning lesson as long as it's clean and pleasant for other people, it's enough. Why not? A new level where there's an ability to develop, to transfer to others, in which manner to sell and to buy and to enjoy. That's the level of new intelligence. What do you mean, new intelligence? Tools through which we enjoy ourselves. Because beforehand, if I went to get a jacket, I enjoyed it because it's something warm and pretty. and I look good, I get pleasure as a person, and my body gets pleasure as a creature. That's it. So altogether, what are we selling in advertising? Pleasures. So here we need to understand what kind of pleasures people will need in the near future. And we need to sell those, and we need to promote those, and to promote those. And just like we're educated by advertising that they need to get this, and this is healthy, and this will make you pretty, and this will make you respected, and it'll give you, people will relate to you well in your family. I'm happy to see sometimes an advertisement that if you buy this, the whole family will be happy and everyone will look at you. And even my dog, he's having fun. We sell all the pleasures. What kind of new pleasure can I sell? These are pleasures of connection. Dress it up in a new way to have fun, new creations. But anything that has to do with connections, they will feel that as the source of their pleasure. What do you mean by connection? Just like it is written, go make money from one another, but we always make money from one another as humans, not like creatures. Today, our earning will be from us discovering in the connection between us a special kind of pleasure, warmth, excitement, being in awe, even to the extent that we will feel that we are coming out of ourselves to a level of connection that has nothing to do with our bodies, that we are creating with it some place of serenity, pleasure, a virtual place, apparently, a level, a matrix, a dimension where we're all in the common spirit, in a common spirit, in an atmosphere of warmth, that a person feels as if he's disconnected from his existence at the body level, the level of his body, that he's living inside a desire and filling that is disconnected from his body. The inclination for drugs, for losing ourselves, masses of people that are going to riots and revolutions, the inclination toward all kinds of medicine to calm themselves down, to fill the empty place inside. All these things actually indicate that we need to find a new tool, a new desire, new senses through which to enjoy. And these are only senses and desires and thoughts and common desires. Because we see from nature that's pushing us in a global manner that we're all connected. And in this connection, we will find our filling. The media and advertising have to attract us to all kinds of connections between us, and to advertise to us the ability to enjoy. And this is what we'll advance towards and enjoy. Because according to the vessels that are developing now, we see how we do round tables and all these things, how we go to the park, how much fun it is. These games that we do together, people come and they want to be like little children and play. They're willing to jump and do stuff. You saw it. Where does it come from? pleasure. People at the age of 40, 50, important people, educated, they're willing to be like little kids. These simple pleasures, we still have a need for them till the end of our lives. And apart from that, I'm telling you that there's in that another stage. At the moment, there's a hidden picture that a person wants it so much, he's disconnecting from this low level of life in our bodies that's completed its stage. We can provide rational level of life in this world, our bodies, to anyone, but we don't do that. We don't supply it because we're not connected. That's another story, but we're capable of doing that. So what is the new deficiency that can develop after that? Humanity always had to reach a state, always wanted to reach a state where a person for sure has what to exist from as a creature. Let's say that we filled the level of creature. What do you mean creature? That I have food, sex, family, health, and security. I have those things just like any animal. Even us. You mean physical needs? Yes. Say it in a nice way. I might be having difficulty finding the correct words. After I have the ability to do that, and I discover that I'm not capable, what's the harm of me supplying everyone with the normal level of life, normal standard of life? It's only our ego, only this warped part in us. And in the meantime, higher needs are giving birth inside me to the new level of man. Man is a social creature. That's why the world is becoming revealed as a connected place. And here the media precisely have to do their work of communicating, of connection between us. The source of pleasure, what is it? A desire to enjoy. Against this source, what is it? What is the next state for tomorrow that I'm reaching soon? That's what I need to identify. That's what the media have to be concerned with. If not, they will not be able to survive. Today, they already have a problem. Today they still have work because those people in the industries, the factories, etc., they need them because they have hope that they'll be able to still sell something. So they hold the media, they hold all the advertising agencies, they keep them on, but we know that all this is already running out. According to statistics, we can see. So the media themselves need to understand that they need to look forward. With the business owners, there's nothing you can do. They're going to have to go bankrupt. They're going to have to lower themselves down to the basic necessity that people want and to close everything else off. Meaning what we amassed above gold and silver, all these bills that beneath them there's no coverage. That's how the entire industry will go down to a necessary level. That's what will happen at both levels. And the media will need to begin verifying, will need to research toward what people are developing, to see themselves not as following it or standing in place as they are today, but how they pull men to that new stage forward. And then they'll have something to sell to that person who is developing in that direction. If I understand what you're saying, they are done with all the overconsumption. You're looking at everything from the perspective of pleasure. You're saying, we people, we need pleasures because that's the material of the world. And the world of advertising or the media should not live in the trends of yesterday, should not sit on their laurels, but they need to see what the pleasures of tomorrow are. If they identify it, they should promote it, and then they will succeed. Then they'll have what to sell, and then there'll be feedback from the people. What will be the pleasure of tomorrow? You gave an example that you said tomorrow people will go look for pleasure and connection. I didn't understand that, so I asked you what connection is. It means that a person will feel warmth, admiration, excitement from good connections with others. He'll feel that he's raising up a bit, and you gave the example of drugs. With drugs, it's clear. Hang on a sec. No. I said drugs means that he's disconnecting from the emptiness of today, but not that he's connecting with it to the pleasure of tomorrow. So what's the pleasure of tomorrow? You said the inclination to drugs and all kinds of things, medication. These indicate a change in the trend, that people want something else. What do they want? But that calms their deficiencies down, or their lack of deficiency, and that's not the solution. No, it's not the solution. So what is the solution? It's just helping them calm down. He's not feeling anything. But in the meantime, from inside, a new desire is developing in us for connection, for connecting. We don't feel it yet. Nature is presenting it. If I, as an advertiser, want to succeed in catching the trend and not sitting back on my laurels, I want to say, I don't want to look back and say I made a mistake. I want to preempt the market. So you're saying tomorrow we'll buy one thing, pleasure, a new pleasure. You said having fun. Depends what kind of fun. It's not that I'm going out with my family to some grass and having a picnic, but I'm doing it with other people together, with the mess, with the music, with all kinds of things, kids playing together, women together, men together. From the connection between people, even that it looks totally unrealistic to us today because we were taught to be very individualistic, that precisely in the connection between us, I find joy and filling, some kind of new joy and filling. I want an example. No, for example, I see on TV all kinds of commercials. Take the most simple commercials. Say shampoo or cream. You see the woman enjoying herself. She's blooming. She smells good. And now you're coming. I'm an advertiser. My ears jumped up when you said there's a new pleasure, because that's exactly what I deal with all day as an advertiser. I want to see what the next pleasure is I can dress in. So how can I take this advertisement and make it otherwise, according to your new approach? How do I direct it to the new pleasure? It's like there's no material to sell. There's no product. The product becomes a virtual product, apparently. It's a product of how we connect. It's an educational product. It's not sold in some liquid of shampoo or some piece of a part for a car, even though we need those things. But people with their inner desire are more and more turning to a new level of frustration, for a desire to be filled. So that's why they'll leave the 1,000 types of shampoo. You won't be able to sell them yours. They'll buy something simple. Once upon a time, there wasn't shampoo. There was just soap that was made out of dogs or all kinds of plants. And that's what they used, and that's it. Were there people were women less beautiful? It all depends on how people look at it. What's he looking for? Every generation has its demands in looks and values. The work is very simple. We have a deficiency. All of nature is a deficiency. What do you mean deficiency? A desire to have pleasure from something specific. That certain thing is always changing. Advertising is good. Is good if you can smell that a deficiency being filled, or now or soon. And then it presents to me let's say we want to look pretty. So now you have cosmetics and all kinds of things to look pretty. And then it passes. Let's say the younger generation wears rags. The main thing is to have a few tattoos and rings. They don't care if their hair is like this or like that. They're making all kinds of shaving their heads. Just the opposite. The more freakier you are, the definition of what's beautiful has changed. What are you going to sell them? If you have something else to sell them, then you can sell them phones and stuff. But in clothing, there's nothing. We see all these things are disappearing. Where is a person's deficiency going? The next stage that we're identifying it from afar is a stage where a person will want to enjoy being connected to others. This communication that's working toward that, the equipment, these are only the early stages of that same deficiency that is being born gradually, to want to be connected without any equipment, at a more inner level. But this desire hasn't solidified in us, so we're playing with these things on the outside. This is where advertising comes in. What is it a good person, a good advertiser? What's advertising? This science, I remember learning it in university. In courses of marketing, they showed that it's art to analyze the needs of the consumers, and an artist and a genius in advertising is someone who can build from a tiny thing to build a flower, can identify a tiny thing and strengthen it and bring it to the people, to bring you to a stage where you say, that's what I want, that will make me feel good. So this connects with the frequencies you're talking about. That's why I really connect to it, and I want to take it to a practical level. Let's say I'm the owner of a big advertising agency, one of the greatest in the world. And you're saying if we look ahead, tomorrow people will be looking for pleasure from connections between people, but you'll say, okay, you'll see it's not really like that, but it's starting and it's going to grow. Now here I can join this process. I can be an active part. I can create a change. I'm a good advertiser. I'm not some little office. I'm the top. I shape society's thoughts. I can insert values and standards to the public, the entire world. How can I join this new trend that you're explaining, that you feel that it's coming, and you feel that tomorrow what they're going to want to buy is a new connection between people? Come help me and open this up for me, give me direction, how I can come and do my job to take the little thing and nitzas the public. I'm identifying by what's happening in the market that she's not really aware of it. It's starting. She's aware because of the media, computers, and phones, and TV, and internet. She's aware of what? A week ago, there was a disconnection. There was a technical problem with a little problem. 1 million people went crazy. They disconnected their mobile phones. They understood what it's like to be disconnected. I don't know what to buy on the way home. I don't know what medication to buy to bring for my grandmother. I don't know where my kid is. It was a catastrophe. We're not capable of living like that. Once upon a time, it was fine. I remember 40 years ago, you worked in Bezek, the communications company. Everyone hated Bezek, the phone company. They had a monopoly on the phone industry. Had a mistake. Today, communication is absolutely necessary. Without it, we're lost. I know that I drove to Tel Aviv once to call my parents in abroad. I would go to Tel Aviv and call from there. Now we're connected. You disconnect me for 2 hours, I lose my mind. That's clear. How does this connect? That the pleasure from connection. The connection is already there between us. We're connected, but in such a way that it's completely artificial. It doesn't convey emotions. It doesn't make a connection between people. It's the conveying very primitive information that the desire for it is dissipating. This game is over. We need something more. With this upgrade of our lives, the need for new connections, you need to also bring this to the media. Bring what? I don't know. I don't know. Give me a direction, like logically. I can do anything. I'm a good advertiser. I can do anything I want with the public, especially from a little seed, I can make a huge tree. How would you help me understand the stages? Because it's a new process. Let's say, compared to this direction you're giving, what feeling would you like me to awaken? I awaken feelings. What feeling would you like me to awaken in the public that's higher than the place it is in right now, and it's in the direction of tomorrow's pleasure that you're giving as an alternative? Also in the media themselves, like the phones and social networks, but they need to be truly social. These are programs and types of connections through which I reach a feeling of satisfaction from the public. This is the development of the tools themselves and the programs. It's also that we go above these tools to build a special system, a global system where everyone can connect and everyone can be in a world in this imaginary world. It's not imaginary, but in this virtual world where we'll feel disconnected from our bodies and that we're in one mind and one heart, a new mind and heart. I work with the public on consumption of, I identify needs or I create or maximize needs. What do I need to bring to the public? We're talking about a very new, serious stage. You're talking to me now like a primitive person that's standing with a stick and has like a piece of fur on him, and I'm explaining to you I'm talking to you about going into outer space. You need to understand, I'm showing you a new stage and how to build other stages on it. And first, I'm giving you the idea. People will want to be in communication without any limits, emotional connection. From that same communication, they will feel that they are rising above this life. They don't need terror, they don't need drugs or medication. They're not depressed. They don't need to be alone. They feel that they're not even together. The term of together will disappear. There will be something oneness. It's not the sum of the parts. That's what they want to reach at the end of the day. In the meantime, this desire is not, they're not really aware of it, but they're starting to come to that. If we begin developing in that direction, it might take a year or two or however, but that's the new form that will be. So I'm talking to you, and you're saying I can do anything. I own the world media. A person like that, you come with a strategy. You come to him with a strategy. Now let's see, am I correct or not? I can prove it to you, how to proceed towards it. Let's think together. I can show you some stages that more or less, but let's start researching. Let's start taking steps in that direction, and we'll discover it. Of course you will need it if you want to continue being the media and more advanced than everyone else. Think about it till next time. Okay. Yes, Nitsa. When you started describing, I started from deficiency, from pleasure, from seeking pleasure. The fact that a person wants filling, wants to enjoy. From what does he enjoy from now? We know that there's nothing, everything's disappearing. What will he enjoy in the next stage of the development of humanity? That's what I want to do as a person in the media or communications or advertising. That's my role. That's what we need to think about. My feeling when I started working with this subject of advertising, I discovered that there's really like a circle of feedback. On the one hand, I want to receive the pleasure, and on the other hand, he wants to sell me the pleasure. And apparently we're cooperating very well together until we reach the point that you mentioned, that there's a point that I want something and I don't really understand what it is. And the advertiser doesn't really understand what that pleasure is, and he doesn't know how to sell it to me, how to present it to me in the new way. And I think that might be the next subject we'll explore. Yes, but that will be in the next conversation. Our time is up. Please give us a conclusion about the world of advertising. We have to transform advertising, and especially that it's part of the media. We have to transform it to an engine that will take us to the next stage of the development of humanity, which is the connection between everyone. Just like the name of the media, they have to be the center of humanity, the mediators. They have to make the connection between everyone. And then humanity will get all its joy and satisfaction. Thank you very much, Rav Laitman. Succeed, both of you. Thank you, Nitza Mazos. Thank you for being with us. Until next time, all the best. New life.